What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I can't. Nope. Okay, we're not doing that. So what's up, guys? I haven't made a video in God knows how long. But I figured I'd give you guys a little bit update of what I run when I play Nidalee. Just so you guys kind of have something to go off. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for tips, and I do deviate from a lot of other Nidalee players. So please be warned that this is not always going to be the case, and you may have a different play preference. But let's get straight into runes first thing. I do like to run Dark Harvest. A lot of my macro play is based around ganking lanes when there is a cannon minion dying. The reason I do this is you get an extra Dark Harvest stack. Every time a cannon minion dies, every time a champion dies, or every time a jungle camp dies, you get a Dark Harvest stack for 20 seconds. If I gank a lane and I actively have a Dark Harvest stack running, I can throw an auto attack, proc that Dark Harvest, and get like an extra 100 damage-ish, maybe like 50 or 60 damage early game. It's a little bit less than Electrocute, but if I gank a lane that has a dying cannon minion, I can proc my first Dark Harvest, pick up the cannon minion Dark Harvest stack, and then proc it again, which almost always is going to do way more damage than Electrocute would have given me, and then on top of that, it stacks better into the late game, and it just feels really good to combine Dark Harvest with Sheen item and your Cougar Q. You can basically one-shot everybody. It's spectacular. But then I run standard stuff like Sudden Impact, Zombie Ward, and Relentless Hunter. That stuff, just for most junglers right now, they run all three of those. I don't want to go too much into that, but Nidalee almost always has Sudden Impact up because she has a pounce at the same cooldown rate as Sudden Impact itself. Zombie Ward, you can go for Eyeball Collector if you really want to and you have really good vision control, but for the most part, Zombie Ward I like to run just so that I have a little bit more time on my own wards, as well as when I am clearing out enemy ones, I have a little bit extra safety. Relentless Hunter, Nidalee just does great with extra mobility. Now, Sorcery, almost always going to be the tree you're going to choose. Celerity, there's no reason to pick anything other than Celerity at the moment. It just is so strong with Nidalee and her ability to get extra movement speed. With Relentless Hunter, with her passive, with her spear, with the brushes, she almost always has extra movement speed right there, which gives her extra AP. And the second one, a lot of people like to run Water Walking. Water Walking is okay, but most of it's just going to go straight to the 25 movement speed in the river. It's good, don't get me wrong. I like Scorch. Just feels a little bit more satisfying to land an ability on somebody and have it do an extra 20 to 60 damage. Usually it's around 40 or 50 damage come mid to late game, and it feels great to have that extra tick of damage when someone walks away, get too low, and you're like, haha, my Scorch gotcha. But that's my standard rune run. Sometimes I'll swap out Scorch for Water Walking or Gathering Storm, depending on how I think the game is going to go. That's pretty much the only one that I swap around. But let's get straight into jungle clears, because I know a lot of people also have deviating opinions on how jungle clears work and what they typically do. I myself really enjoy running buff first, and that's going to sound weird to a lot of people. A lot of people see, let's run the Kim Kardashian skin. A lot of people see the Raptor Camp start as the best start for Nidalee, and in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to help you very much. You're going to save maybe a second, maybe 2 seconds on the camp. Your bot lane will get to their lane a little bit faster, but that's their prerogative. They don't need to leash you at all on the red buff. You can actually say, hey, don't leash me. But the reason I do not start the Raptor Camp is because it allows me to start Q. If you start the Raptor Camp, you have to start W. You will not clear that camp if you don't start W. But because I'm doing let's just go ahead and fast forward. And we'll wait. The reason I like to start Q is because it allows me to protect myself from invades, which you'll often see in this current day and age. A lot of games have early game invades, and if you don't have a Q up, you're not going to be able to defend or counter or invade with your team or anything. You're just kind of sitting there going, I've got to prep my Raptor Camp with my W, and that's kind of not optimal. So the big thing with Nidalee in the jungle, no matter what camp you're doing, should almost always be kiting camps. Now you'll notice, because I didn't get a leash, I'll smite this camp first. There's two reasons for that. One, it allows me to keep my health a little bit high, and two, I can use my Cougar Q on it, which gets it even lower. It gets it even lower for my Cougar Q execute to do quite a bit. Now what I'll typically do is I will go buff to buff, just because in the current jungle meta there's a lot of invade pressure, and there's a lot of like early game level 2, level 3 duels. And I like to get both buffs right off the bat so that I have the best advantage as far as dueling comes. as well as I don't have huge priorities for the enemy jungler to steal from me. But then at this point, what I'll typically do, it isn't always 2 minutes 20 seconds. It's usually around 2 minutes 15 if there's a leash from the bot lane, sometimes a little bit earlier, sometimes a little bit later. I'll put a ward on the raptor, or not on the raptor, on the scuttle crab. And this serves two purposes. One, it allows me to see if the enemy jungler is there, and two, allows me to land an easy spear on either the scuttle crab or the enemy jungler. So if the enemy jungler were here right now, he'd be doing the scuttle crab. He might have even been starting it earlier. I would have bailed from the crabs, and I'd have a really easy spear on the enemy jungler. I'd know, okay, I can spear the enemy jungler right now and kill him. Or if the enemy jungler doesn't show up here, they're going to show up in another lane, or they're going to be doing the bottom scuttle crab. So you'll know, hey, I can go kill the scuttle crab right now safely. I can kill the enemy jungler. I can gank a lane, yada, yada, yada. If the scuttle crab has already been taken by the enemy jungler, or it's like a Xin Zhao or an Udyr, and you're a little bit afraid to kill it, you can just get level 3 off of this camp, relatively healthy on that, and you can go ahead and gank or continue clearing your jungle. There is one big downside to the current jungle path that I just took, and that's that I kill both buffs first, so all of my jungle camps are going to respawn a little bit later than the enemy jungle camps if I had started the raptors first, because if I clear the raptors first clear, the raptors will be up pretty much almost instantly. Now the plus side to clearing everything first before the raptors is I can clear them pretty quickly afterwards because I have all 3 abilities, which allows me to pretty much insta-kill the camp. But that's it. That's Nidalee's early game in the jungle. I hope that was an informative enough video. I'm sure there are a lot of questions, so feel free to leave those down below. I'll try to answer them. I do swap between a lot of YouTube accounts. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all later. And I might as well clear this camp just because, well, I've already started it, so it's not satisfying to end a video where you don't clear camp. Thanks for watching, guys. See y'all later.